get the data. Let's have a business meeting. When you have a business meeting, it's not personal either to the person you're having the meeting with. Now it
That's right.
becomes a business meeting, right? And so without the data, it's just, it's just a conversation. And so dealers, I mean, all the guys I know, and there are some guys who aren't like this, but most of the people I meet out there, a dealer's like a real matter of fact guy. Hey, man, just
Mhm.
give me the baby, dude. Spare me the labor pains. Give me the baby. Let's just get right to it and be done. And that's what I tried to do is create something that at one snapshot, at one glance, it gives you all the data that you want. And then if you want to dig in, all you do is just click, 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 and dig in, and you can dig in as deep as you want to go to find more detail.
Welcome to Driven by Intelligence, where we're going to get into the mind shaping the future of automotive retail and beyond. And so today, this is a complete honor. I'm with a good friend, brother Hoss Devine, with the y'all are seeing with the cowboy hat, but we go way back. He's a mentor, a leader, an innovator in the automotive industry with over 25 years of experience. Haas has journeyed from the sales floor to the executive suite, now serving as the founder and CEO of Automotive Innovations. His company is the forefront of providing real-time, actionable data solutions that empower dealerships to make informed decisions and enhance profitability. Beyond his professional achievements, Haas's personal transformation, shedding over 200 pounds, baby, speaks volumes about his dedication and resilience. His story is one of perseverance, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. Let's get into the conversation. Thank you, Haas, again for making some time so we could connect. Life has gone full
Anytime, man.
circle, man. How
Yeah,
you doing?
good, brother. Anytime, man.
You like that? So, really, one of the first questions I have for those people maybe who don't know you, maybe this is the first time they've seen you because you've been at so many events, from a SODU to a lot of other publications that you've been on the front cover of magazines. But maybe for those that aren't really aware of who you are, can you give them your backstory and who you are, and then how you got to where you are today?
Oh man, I don't know if we have enough time for all that. I'll,
No.
I'll make a brief thing. I've been in the car business, man, since I was 19. Been on my own since I was 15. So I grew up, I got a PhD in the School of Hard Knocks. And,
Yeah.
but it's the car business, man. It's been a journey, bro. I got into the car business as just something to do because I was broke and didn't have any money. And I saw this guy driving a fancy car and had all this bling on and
Yeah.
it's full of cash and a nice suit. And I was like, man, bro, what do you do for a living? And he was like, oh man, I'm a car salesman. And I said, no kidding, tell me about that. And he's like, well, man, you just stand around and talk to people. And I was like, well, man, I could do that. And so there it began. And it was really hard for me actually to get a job. I won't go into that story. That's maybe for another day. But finally, I got a job and did very well. Was always on the top of the board from month one, and worked my way up into management and and just to the very all the way up to general manager, and then I realized I don't really work well for others. So I'm a serial entrepreneur, man. I got to have my own gig. I got to do my
Yeah.
thing, but I love the car business, and so it was like I when I turned 40, it was like my personal story is that basically it's kind of like God asked me, hey, what are you doing to benefit the kingdom, and what are you doing to make this world a better place? And it was like, well, I
Yeah.
teach guys how to make more money and to be more profitable, doing my consulting thing that I was doing for years. And then finally, I got this idea came to me, and so it was like, yeah, man, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I called my wife at the time and said, hey, we need to sell everything and move into our camper. I'm going to start a software company. And she was like, what do you know about software? And so anyways, she's like, well, how long are we going to live in the camper? And I said, oh, no more than a year. It's just software, no big
Mhm.
deal. And I'm a car guy trying to make, solve problems. And little did I know what I was getting into.
Mhm.
Uh, but uh, but yeah, man, we only lived in the camper for 3.5 years. Well, I consulted by day, and then 12 hours at the store, and then another 5, 6 hours at night, uh, designing everything and building everything and working with developers and doing stuff, and did that for 3.5 years, and then got it to beta, and then started raising money, and started because I realized that, man, I can't fund this deal. This is way too expensive. So I did what I could, and so it's been a long road, man. It's been a journey, but the real thing is, man, is I am passionate about solving problems for dealers.
Yeah.
um, at the end of the day, nobody builds software the way we use it. I mean, you know that. Uh,
Hmm.
we have to change the way we do business to use today's automotive software. And because it's not designed by car guys. And
Yeah.
I've had dealers bang their hands on the desk and say, finally, something built by a car guy. You can tell whoever built this did the job for a living. And that means more to me than anything, right? When I can get
Yeah.
that feedback and say that. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that's like the brief story.
No, it leads in perfectly too, by the way, other than the massive amount of diligence that you have. I think he just quickly went over the fact that Hoss just said I was working for 12 hours a day and afterwards was putting in another 3, 5, 7 hours afterwards. And
Yeah, I
but
don't.
you know what? It's that dedication is going to come through that software like that the I would say the meat and potatoes that so many softwares are actually missing, from real car guys, and it's no disrespect to any software company that's been built by people that don't have the experience of someone like Hoss. But one thing that I really respect from it is for me personally being able to see Hoss's journey because he's one of my leaders and mentors and coaches that I've had. We'll get into that later. But there's this thing that just is missing. It's just a little different when somebody that has a tech background is doing something versus somebody that has a dealer background, but with a tech vision. Because we're going to identify different opportunities and different little holes that most people are going to miss. And every time I talk to you, when you give me an update about what you're working on, even last week, you're like, and then Durran, guess what? We now have it set up to where we can. And I just started laughing. I get so geeked and excited. Like, what? Like, and I always say this thing to Hoss, and when he tells me these things, I'm like, but who else is even doing this? Like there, and he says it too. He's like, man, it's crazy that nobody else has thought about this. That's why. Because when you're not in the industry and you don't have a lot of that blood, that sweat, and the tears that literally come from it, there's these little micro moment pieces of data that's happening within the industry, within the dealers, that if they just had visibility into it at the right time, they might still be open. They might be more profitable. And so I'm excited when we get into this software and go deeper. But Haas, kind of give us like an overview of what it's tackling. If there's a few key areas, or if you can kind of give some examples, kind of tell what it's doing, but then a few examples of how you're seeing stores use your system.
Well, I mean, we do analytics. I'd say probably the difference between our analytics and other analytics is, um, people pay off of our analytics, so they have to be right. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's huge, right? You mean
yeah,
you've tied your comp in there.
yeah, because I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's a lot of analytics companies that I look at their systems and tools, and it's just like, and I used them in retail, and it's like, man, can they not understand how to get data right? I mean, why does the gross not match? Why does the metrics not match what the DMS says? Why is it always off? I actually had when I was consulting a store, I called a company told them that this report wasn't matching, that I was pulling two reports and that they were way off from each other and why. And they
Hmm.
said, and I could not believe this, Durran, this is a billion-dollar company, right? And the guy on the phone said, we do not recommend you compare our reports. Find one report and stick to it. And I said, hang on a second. You just said what? Did you say that your reporting's not accurate? Is that what you just told me? Because well, I didn't say that. It's just it depends on what reports you look at as to whether it's accurate or not. And I'm like, what? Uh, and so, but when you start to understand how reporting is done now, and you look at the code and you look at what the feeds are and how all that stuff works, and it's like, it's like, well, man, I can match. I mean, I have dealers that every month we match right to the financial statement, and it's like, uh, it's not hard, right?
Hmm.
It's just you have to have, but again, I've looked at financial statements for 20 years. I've, I have a brain that works differently than most people. Um, it's a joke now. I've had a few dealers as I was pitching say, I walk in with a cowboy hat and boots on, and they're like, what do you know about software? And I'm like, hey, don't let the hat fool you, man. I'm a high tech redneck. So, you know, it's, but I understand the code. I run the code
Yeah.
I mean, I run the development in my company. Um, because I want it to be done a certain way. I want to make sure the dealers get what they're paying for. And the other crazy thing that I'm trying to solve is not charging for innovation, right? It's like all these companies today, oh, we have this new feature, but it's only $4.95 extra a month. Bro, I'm already paying you all this money, and now you wanting to give me more, you want to give me more, but I have to pay more.
Yeah.
It shouldn't work that way. We pay you to be innovative. That's what these companies should get paid for, is to
Hmm.
innovate. Now, don't get me wrong, we got to make money, right? It's got to be, profit's not a dirty word. It's just, let's not make it on one person, man. We got to, just spread it out, man. It's about a volume thing for me. So it's, I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No, it does. You just,
I mean,
man,
analytics is one thing, F&I menus is another. We have a next level F&I menu that on average will, the guys using it have a $356 increase in their PVR. Um, which for me is great, right? I look at that and it's like, yes, man, I did this so you can have an instant ROI, man. You can instantly make money. And it's just like, I get geeked about that.
yeah. I would add too, it's not just the instant ROI that I've seen that your software builds or what it adds to the dealership's bottom line or their P&L, but to me, it's that time. You remember I'll never forget the first time, Haas, when we had that conversation a while back, and I kept looking at everything, and all I kept doing was like, man, I remember going here, going there for this report, to do the daily doc. And then when we're looking at our inventory turn, and then we're looking at our ordering, and then when we're looking at our, it's so much. And most people don't realize at a high level how difficult it is to manage your data and then manage accurate data in a dealership. Most people probably just think that a leader, a manager just has it all set up. They log in and then boof, there's everything. But everybody watching, especially that's a leader, it is pain to get the right data, but you also have to spend a lot of time. And what's your time worth to you is just as valuable as that extra, three, four, $500 increase per car. Think about what that does for your time when you're not spending 2, 3 hours trying to dig up data or either paying somebody else to get it for you when you have it here in this
Well,
software.
think about, there's something, it's a term I heard a long time ago from one of my mentors. And he used to always ask me when I had problems and I was asking him about analytics and metrics and data. And he was like, Haas, are we having a business meeting or are we having a conversation? Because, and you've heard me say this, right?
Yes.
Because that's been my mantra for 20 plus years, man. And it's just like, if I don't have the data in front of me, we're having a conversation and I don't have time for conversations. So
Yeah.
get the data. Let's have a business meeting. When you have a business meeting, it's not personal either to the person you're having the meeting with. Now it
That's right.
becomes a business meeting, right? And so without the data, it's just, it's just a conversation. And so dealers, I mean, all the guys I know, and there are some guys who aren't like this, but most of the people I meet out there, a dealer's like a real matter of fact guy. Hey man, just
Mhm.
give me the baby, dude. Spare me the labor pains. Give me the baby. Let's just get right to it and be done. And that's what I tried to do is create something that at one snapshot, at one glance, it gives you all the data that you want. And then if you want to dig in, all you do is just click, 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 and dig in, and you can dig in as deep as you want to go to find more detail.
I love what you said about software earlier, Hoss, when you said, I never thought of it the way that you put it. You know, dealers, they pay this money and you could call it a licensing fee. We can call it a software fee, whatever you want to call it. But you're right. The part of that money that a dealership's paying, and they're smart. Dealers are very, very intelligent. And I'm sure they know, like, okay, I'm paying this money. It's almost like a website. I view websites the exact same way. There's this big money, there's a big price point. We know there's a good margin in which a business should get margin. I'm not taking that away at all. But what they're doing with that margin should be part of that R&D, right? That research and
Absolutely.
development to keep it valuable, to make that dealer stick. So then that way it's evolving. It's not a, hey, here's a 499 999. And so I like the fact that I know you as a car guy, as you invest more and more into it and just make it better for people. Yeah, there could be some add-ons for those stores that need that extra thing that most dealerships don't need, but within those walls to know that I already know how you are, that you're going to constantly keep evolving and keep evolving. I think that's what probably is one of the most exciting things about this.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, and probably some people wouldn't agree with me on this. I know a lot of founders wouldn't, but I mean, I take very seriously raising my price on something. If I'm going to charge for something, I think about it and I think about it and I'm like, man, I just should I charge for that? Should I not charge for that? And and it's like, nah, that should just come in there for free. That should just
Mhm.
be a value add. That should just be a value add. And then I end up having all these value adds that everybody else is charging money for, and it's like, but I don't care. I mean, it's like, pigs get fat, hogs go to slaughter, man. You get the I mean, that's just kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And you touched on leadership a little bit, and I said earlier I wanted to come back to that because you talked about, the line that you said, and yes, everybody listening to this, I've heard that. Are we having a conversation meeting? Are we having a business meeting or a business discussion? And anybody that knows me that's a client, especially the people that I coach, that are like internet managers, especially because internet manager is probably one of the most stressful positions in a dealership outside of like some of the higher ups because your flow of traffic never stops. If you're an internet manager, BDC manager, it's all freaking day. Let a BDC
I
manager,
admire those people, bro, because I couldn't do that. You
yeah,
I mean,
like
that takes a certain person.
right? I always say let a BDC manager or a BDC team go sit and do nothing for a day and watch what happens. You know what I mean? They'll be out so quick, fired quick. So the tension, the pressure is high every single day for them to perform. And so when I get a call from some of them, now they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is where Durran got that from." But they'll call me and be like, "Durran, it's terrible. I can't get my team to do anything. They're slow. They're complaining. I got this guy over here. He's coming in late, and then our leads have been down, and this and that. And I'm listening to all that, and I'm just like, yeah, man, yeah, 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 yeah. Now, real quick, is this? Are you telling me this so we can have a conversation? Like, are you saying this so you can get this off your chest, or are you saying this because you want me to give you the solution to your problem? And every single time they're like, oh, I guess I need help. And I'm like, well, okay, let's get into it. So you said leads were down. Let's start there. What were the leads the previous 7 days? And then what were last year at this time and in the last quarter? And then what's our inventory look like? Is our inventory up? And they're just like, because it gets you out of that mind frame. And I'm so thankful for people like Haas, because as I mentioned back in my early GSM days, he came in as a coach and a mentor to me and there was I was much more in that definitely business meeting mind, but I would let the emotions take it to a conversation where I might say, "Man, that manager, he's just not getting it done. He's too slow, or he's lazy, or he doesn't." It's like that's a what is that? You have to show the data. He's not doing TOs. Look, this month he's had 30 customers, 15 of them never met him, and I can prove that.
Well,
That's a
look
business
at it like
meeting.
this, Duran. One of the things on my dashboard, I have a desking analysis, right?
Uh-huh.
And we let the ability to show you by manager how many new they sold, how many used they sold, what the front gross was on those deals, and then to top it off, we say what percentage of those deals did we discount from the internet price, and
Oh no.
when we did discount them, how much was our average discount? So when you gamify that, the discounts drop in half, right?
Yeah.
Because now when they see that, oh man, they're tracking that, uh, you can't hide from data, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a comptroller one time tell me, liars figure, figures don't lie. Uh, and so and it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense
I
to me.
like that.
So, but the figures don't lie. If you are having a problem discounting the cars, you're probably got Velcro ass syndrome. You won't get up and go talk to a customer. Now,
Mm.
all of a sudden, you're saying, "Hey, go out and say this."
Damn, bro. He called my
Uh,
he said I
you
like
know,
that.
you know the manager I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent my time when I did consulting just standing on the desk going, go talk to that customer. He's got no control. Go talk to that customer. He's got no control. Well, no, he just needs to go say this. Hey, bro, he's already said all that. You need to go talk to the customer. And then you
Yeah.
go talk to the customer and you get up right off your butt and you go talk to a customer and you close the deal and you make more money. Oh man, I made more money because I went and talked to a customer. I mean, being a manager isn't about sitting back and doing nothing anymore. You work harder as a manager than you do as a salesperson. And the problem in our industry, the systemic problem, is we promote people to a level of incompetence, not to a level of leadership, because we promote people because, oh, this guy sold a lot of cars. So now we're going to make him a manager, but we're not going to give him the tools necessary to teach him how to be a leader. See, there's a difference between a leader and a manager. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and my leadership style, people have said I'm gruff and I'm mean, and I mean, you've experienced that side of me. But it's not that. I truly do care, but I'm so passionate about it sometimes that people, and I'm a real matter of fact, no nonsense kind of person. So that coupled with that makes it come across as that I'm mean. But at the end of the day, I mean, the people that work with me now, they like working with me. But in the dealership world, man, and you have to demand excellence. And just like in the software world, I try to demand excellence as well. So, but it's that. We just don't give people the tools nowadays. Like, the car guys today are different than the car guys when I got in this business 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Big time. I mean, it's a massive shift in terms of I remember the leaders back in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was I don't know, it was a constant, and I know this might not be the most popular to say, but it was very consistent with direct talk back then. And it might have been in a joking way sometimes. Like, I can think of Chuck now, but it was very serious in terms of how they wanted you to do business. And it was very simple rules. Do this, do this, do this. If you do not do that, you need to leave. And today, in today's age, it's like that's not okay to talk like that. But it's what made so many people great because they knew the lines that they could cross and they knew the lines they could not cross. And I remember the first time with you too, Hoss, it's uncomfortable because you're sitting with someone that has been in the game, they understand, they know what they're doing, and then you've got an owner that brought them in and it makes you feel almost insecure for a second. You're like, well, dang, they got this guy in here. I know what I'm doing a good job. And then when that person's good at what they do, you once you get past the little feelings part and you still really start listening and then taking the practical information and putting it in, all of a sudden it's like, oh, Okay, I see this, and it's sad because it's not sad. I would say it's normal if we can see that it's just a child in us. You know what I mean? Like I got four little babies. Well, not four. I mean, I got one in here now, but the the way that they feel when dad is telling them something. You know what I mean? Like we're giving them the game. We've been there as a kid before, and we're saying, "Hey, instead of doing this, if you'll do this right here, you're gonna be all right." And they
Right.
get upset about it, and I'm like, "Why are you getting upset?" And it's just like the way you say it. I'm like, "I'm not even. Yeah, I'm just conversating with you. Yeah, but I like doing it this way." And it's the child in us that slows down sometimes, and we don't know how to listen, to actually listen to what's being said and then turn that into actionable things that you can do every single day to win in your position. So I'm glad you share that because it goes hand in hand with the software because now it's not so much like the hosses that might come in there and talk to you. Now it might be a hoss, it might be Automotive Innovations that's now telling you the truth about your business. It's got the data and it's got there. Now what you do with that information, I think means everything because
Well, I mean,
now it's coming from the
like,
machine, right?
yeah, I mean, we track 748 data points per car deal,
Hmm.
right? And we show you your business in a way you've never looked at it before, because no other system does that.
Yeah.
It's not just one integration we have. It takes lots of integrations for us to be able to do what we do, a lot coupled with the AI that we build into stuff through, all the years of car business intelligence that we program this stuff with. So, um, but we'll get in that to another time, man. I mean, I know we're close on time right now, so, but we can, uh,
That's okay. Hey, for everybody, this is just part one. So this is part one, and then the second half, I really want to get into. I would like for Haas to walk through what he's been working on. It's pretty awesome, and also we'll be able to ask some questions because I know there might be some, but there's questions that I have that I'll ask that many dealers I think would like to know. Like how long does this take, and how often do I need to be in this software, and who all has access. So we're going to get into that and let Haas show it especially to the Cage community and to those that are connected through the automotive network. But before I let you go, Haas, let's go through. And you're right, I'm already getting the phone call. So we're going to go through this rapid fire segment real quick. Number one word to describe the future of automotive retail.
technology.
Most underrated tool in dealership arsenal.
Oh, most underrated tool in the dealership arsenal. Man, that's a tough one, man. Um, there's so many. Uh, but I would say the phone.
Yes, a common misconception about dealership technology.
Well, I would say the common misconception is we're the most advanced technologically company. Our tech in the car business is way more advanced than almost any other industry.
I love it. Your go-to strategy for sales team, for motivating a sales team, probably. So your go-to strategy for motivating a sales team.
Knowledge,
Yes. And then finish the sentence. Success in the automotive industry requires
hard work, and discipline.
my man. All right. You all, Haas. Hey, how do they connect with you, Haas, in between now and when we drop
Uh, Haas,
the overview? What's
Haas at
that?
automotiveinnovations.com. Haas at automotiveinnovations.com. So,
Awesome. And you can find them on social media channels too. Just Google, man. Just Google Haas.
oh
If you
yeah, you'll
Google
find
Hoss
all kinds
Devine,
of
you're gonna
stuff
see him.
about me. Yeah. So,
He's the truth. But
all right.
Haas, thank you for sharing this time and kind of giving a preview into what we're gonna show here soon. And I look forward to having that time. But in between that time, I'm sure you and I will talk. But in between that time, also, if people have questions, if you want to reach out to Haas, get you a demo, have a conversation with them before that time, before it's released to the world. Feel free to do that and get your exclusive. Until then, thank you all so much. Haas, thank you as well. I
All right.
appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Durran. Appreciate it.
All right, be good.
See you.
See ya. Gratitude. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. It's always great, and I thank you for it. So, if you could do me a big favor, fam, if you want more videos like this, Please like, subscribe, comment, share this out. And hey, if you want to see something different or if you have some feedback for me, send me a message. Love to hear back from you. But until then, thank you all. Keep winning.